Unit 5, Matching. Exercise 5.01.
Hi, Gordon. How's the service department doing today? Pretty well, although we're a bit snowed under. Excuse the pun. Don't worry, everyone uses it in the first week it snows. Anyway, I really came down to ask about the scut we had in the, hollow tube dash. Its brakes needed replacing. Mr. Bogdanovich phoned me this morning to ask about it, and it sounded like he might come into the shop. No worries. He came by about 20 minutes ago and picked it up. He even bought a few other things because he was so happy with the quick service. Good work, Gordon. He's one of our best customers. Okay, what about the rest of the bikes? I know the Rally Sprinter needed some unusual tyres that we ordered from Barnaby's. Have they got here yet? No, not yet, I'm afraid. So that's not ready yet. As soon as they arrive, I'll stick them on straight away. Speaking of which, there's some good news. Check this out. See the Coolio Trockmeister? It's got spanking new wheel rims on it, and it's a fantastic ride. I might get one for myself. You might need a pay rise for that. Anyway, that's good news. I'll call the customer to let them know it's ready. I already have. They were going to collect it this morning, but it looks like they didn't make it. Good stuff. Have you sorted out the Cruzy King? The owner said the seat was like a razor blade. Easy peasy. I put on a new wider saddle. All done and dusted. Mrs. Snaggins says she'll be in on Wednesday to pick it up. This just gets better. Very efficient, Gordon. Next item on the list. The Thang Shudder Buddy. Did you manage to get the Thang parts? Was it front or rear suspension? Both. This is a bit boring, but it's gone. The parts arrived this morning, and I put them on. Mr. Robinson just called in on his way to work and collected it. He was over the moon. It wasn't supposed to be ready until tomorrow. No wonder he was happy. Easy job, though. The last one's a Sonic Boomer, ugly beast. It's just had a bit of a bashing, but I straightened it out. I thought it might need a new slide, but the customer wasn't bothered about it when I called them. So I just fixed the handlebars, and looks pretty good now, though I say so myself. Brilliant stuff, Gordon. Maybe you'll get that pay rise sooner than you think. Don't quote me on that, though.
Exercise 5.02.
Hello everybody, I'm here to show you around the Arthur Bertram Memorial Hospital, where you'll spend the next 6 months doing some of your training. As you can see, here on the first floor there's reception. I'm sure you'll get to know Betty and Zach, our amazing receptionists. If you ever get lost, just call those guys. The hospital has 9 floors in total, although I doubt you'll be using the top floor. That's where we keep medical supplies. You shouldn't really be going to the stores area. You'll probably start off with a stint in the X-ray department, which can be a bit depressing with all those broken bones and other nasty things they discover there, but you will love Dr. Striebkin. He's a wonderful doctor and a great teacher. The department is on the 4th floor, but Dr. Striebkin's office is the 3rd floor, next to the orthopaedic ward. It's a bit of a pain having to use the elevator all the time, but it's quite an old hospital. One of the best equipped wards is the children's ward. It's actually very new. It's only in its 6th year, so it's the baby of the hospital. And a lot of the equipment is state-of-the-art. The children's ward is just upstairs from the X-ray department, so it's on the 5th floor. Speaking of just upstairs from reception here is the physiotherapy unit. We're very lucky to have some of the world's leading physiotherapists, and we've just had a new aquatherapy pool put in. No swimming allowed by medical students. I notice some of you are doing your first 3 weeks in the eye department, so you'll get a great view of the city when you're not busy, that is. It's on floor 8, so you can get some good exercise if you use the stairs. On the 6th floor, you'll find medical records, though it's unusual for you to go there. Hospital porters collect and deliver any paper records, but in reality you'll get most information on the computer database. The IT guys are on the 7th floor, just so you know. Now, let's go to the most important part of the hospital, the canteen.
Exercise 5.03.
Hi Bob, I hear you're running the Teaching Skills summer course. I might be interested in coming along if that's okay, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it every day.
Yes, it was a big success last year. We're doing it again. It's a lot less intensive this time, though, so you might be able to come along to most of the sessions.
Can you give me the details then? I hear it starts on Tuesday the 2nd.
Well, actually, the teachers are arriving on that day. Things get underway the day after. The induction session is on the first Wednesday.
Excellent. Can I come along to that?
Oh, definitely. It's a good idea, actually, because you get to know everyone before they start to form mini cliques and hang out with the same people for the rest of the course.
That's just like our students.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we don't change that much after school after all. Anyway, on Thursday we had the first set of seminars, which are my favourite sessions. There's nothing scheduled on Fridays, so a lot of people do their own thing, mostly prepare for the next session. Some of them went cycling last year, and 2 guys went windsurfing.
Nice. I'm busy on Fridays. What about the weekends?
Well, on the 6th, there's a session called Teaching. We put the teachers in groups, and they have to come up with a great lesson. It sort of takes you back to your teacher training days. You can come along to watch that. You could critique some of the lessons if you like.
No problem. What about the next Saturday? Is there teaching then too?
Nope, although that's a pretty good idea for next year. No, on the 13th we've got more seminars.
When does everyone leave?
People leave on Monday because there's always such a good party on Sunday the 14th, so they sleep it off and then leave the next day.
Aren't there some lectures?
Yeah, they're on the 2nd Tuesday. I'm giving one on the silent method this year. I'm really getting into that.
I'm sure I'm supposed to ask if you speak during that.
You're only the millionth person. Anyhow, the next session is feedback. That's on Thursday.
Feedback? Shouldn't that be the last session?
That's what we thought last year, but this time we want to be able to change the second seminar session in response to the feedback session.
Exercise 5.04.
A large part of what we're trying to do this year is transform our students from being teacher-dependent to being independent learners, or at least more independent than they used to be. One of the toughest changes they have to make is just realising that learning facts by heart is not enough if they're going to succeed when they go abroad to study. At the moment, their system in essence requires them to learn large quantities of facts by heart and then regurgitate these in tests. We need to train our students not to expect to get everything from their teacher, to start to see their teacher as more of an enabler and a mentor. Of course, the teacher is going to be a source of information, but that is not by any means their sole role. You can divide the transformation into 5 stages: cultural awareness, confrontation, challenge, reassurance, and consolidation. We'll go into more detail later on, but here's a brief outline. The cultural awareness stage requires awareness on the part of you, the teachers. I'd say the longer you've been teaching, particularly out here, the better you will be at this. That's not to say younger or newer teachers can't do this. For those of you who've taught in many other countries, this may well not be new at all. Moving on to stage 2, confrontation. This sounds quite aggressive, but it's just showing teacher-dependent students that their current learning strategies are inadequate for dealing with genuinely high-class education. They have to be confronted with situations they can't cope with. This sounds a bit Dickensian, but in my experience it's actually a great deal of fun, although it absolutely has to be handled sensitively. The next stage, which I call challenge, is the one nearly all teachers gain most satisfaction from. It leads on from the previous stage, challenging students to find different approaches to problem solving and learning. Now let's move on to the reassurance stage. There's no doubt that some students will be feeling a bit left out, a bit confused, because their learning world is beginning to be turned on its head, and that's tough. What we've found here is that by showing them not only that the new approaches work, particularly by analysing examples from various similar programmes at our schools abroad. Having students see evidence of the effectiveness of this programme is a great way to make use of our global network of schools and of those educational situations. The final stage, although you could say this process never really ends, is the consolidation phase. It's essential that you work with the students to combine the strategies and approaches from both worlds. If you like, the memory-centred approach and the approach which places more emphasis on active thinking and creativity. These skill sets complement each other, and it's vital you concentrate on this combination during the consolidation stage.
Exercise 5.05.
Belgravia is a fascinating country, not only from the point of view of its long and complex history, but also, luckily for us sociologists, from a sociological point of view. Their education system is very strong indeed, and it's been in the top 12 of pretty much every international indicator of standards for the past 15 years. Whilst we make language learning a bit of a specialization you can give up when you're 14, in Belgravia they are already starting their second foreign language when they are just 12. Another factor which reflects the importance placed on education is the late age at which they leave school. In most countries, school leaving age is 18, but in Belgravia they hang on in there for an extra year, doing research projects and community work. Certainly, in comparison to the youth of many other countries, young Belgravians are considered very mature for their age. All schools are mixed, and their average age for starting to date is 14. I know one tabloid recently reported Belgravians have their first boyfriend or girlfriend when they are 12, but it just goes to show you can't always trust our press. Once Belgravians have left school, nearly all of them get their own apartment or share a house. There are excellent schemes to help young homeowners get on the property ladder too. The average age for leaving home has come down from 21 to 19 in the last 5 years. It seems incredible to us to imagine our teenagers have their own place. Another factor in their social mobility is that they are only 17 when they buy their first car, so they learn independence very early on. Parents say it's really nice, since their kids can drive them to parties. That must be very handy indeed. Interestingly, given their apparent love of independence, the average age of marriage is very low. In most Western countries, the age is approaching 28, but the average age for Belgravians to get married is 7 months before their 22nd birthday. With that statistic, you might expect sky-high divorce rates, like in the UK or the US, where rates can be 35 per 100, or even higher. Yet again, the Belgravians surprise us. Only 1/5 of marriages end in divorce. It sounds almost like a paradise on earth, but it must be said that the economy is based on
Exercise 5.06.
Words connected with meat are used in quite a large number of colloquial English phrases. For example, if someone from Britain or the USA calls you a chicken, it means you're a coward. You chicken out. Sometimes, if a film is a failure, some people call it a turkey. Also, if a theatre show bombs, it's a turkey. In Britain, if you're beefy, you are physically well built, strong, a hard man. Because the English national dish is roast beef, the French sometimes call an Englishman a roast beef or a roast beef. If you're sheepish, you're not covered in wool and you don't walk around windy grass fields, but you are considered timid or shy. If you can't stand someone eating very loudly and untidily, you might say that he or she eats like a pig. That might be unfair to pigs. Some pigs I've seen are quite delicate when they eat. Anyway, if someone eats especially quickly, you might say that they wolf it down. However, if you're very hungry, you might say, I could eat a horse. Although horse meat is not generally eaten in the English-speaking world.
Exercise 5.07.
Hello there. I want to get a French dictionary for my daughter, but I'm not sure whether to get an electronic dictionary or a book.
It really depends on what sort of level she's at with the language.
She's been studying for 5 years now. She's done German for 3, and I think she's pretty advanced. She's been on 3 separate month-long exchanges in the south of France.
In that case, she'd get the most benefit from a really good book dictionary.
That's interesting.
My daughter's heart's set on an electronic dictionary.
You know, one of those pocket-sized things. She says it's so much easier to carry and use. They are much handier, aren't they?
I think it's okay for looking up words for beginners, and it's useful when you're travelling, but if you're really committed to learning and genuinely interested in a language, a proper dictionary is much better. A good book dictionary has far more examples and explanations, and a vastly wider range of vocabulary. When you look at the page, you can see so many more different words at the same time, which you can't on an electronic display, and that can really help you expand your vocabulary.
Isn't it much slower than an electronic dictionary?
To start with, perhaps, but once you get used to a real dictionary, it's actually far faster for advanced language learners. You find the information you need really quickly.
Exercise 5.08.
OK, you convinced me. So which dictionary do you think I should get?
For advanced learners, there are really only 2 serious options. Neither of them cheap, I'm afraid.
That's OK. It's a good investment, I think. Is that the Webster's dictionary, the black and green one?
That's it. And next to it you can see on its side the Branston's dictionary, the red and blue one.
Is there much to choose between them?
There is, although both of them are excellent in their way. In general, I'd say the Webster's is slightly trendier, sort of more streetwise, so their examples, their definitions are more up to date. The Branston's dictionary is sort of misleading in its appearance. You can take pages out and add some, and you can get updates sent to you every year for no extra charge if you register on the website.
How often?
Every year. It's a really good feature. The Branston's looks like it's less academic in tone than the Webster's because it's in a binder, but in fact the opposite is true.
That's interesting. Someone told me one of them comes with a CD or something.
Yes, that's the Branston's. It's at the back in a thick envelope. Oh no, hang on. Tell a lie, it's the Webster's. It's a pronunciation guide. I think it's a bit of a gimmick, but it's in the price, so it doesn't do any harm.
So you'd say the Branston's is a bit more academic, if perhaps a bit old-fashioned?
Generally speaking, you can find a broader selection of the different forms of the words, but the downside to that is that it can be a bit convoluted. I like getting all that detail, but not everyone needs all that extra baggage, if you know what I mean. The Webster's is slightly more lucid in its explanations. It uses plainer English and French, so that's a plus for a lot of people.
You've been extremely helpful. I must tell the manager. From what you've said, I think the one I'll buy is the...
Exercise 5.09.
Hello, Super Spicy Indian Restaurant. How can I help you?
Hello, I'd like to order some food, but I've got a few questions first.
No problem. What would you like to know?
What types of bread do you have?
We have quite a few different varieties, but our most popular are chapatis, naan bread, and we also have poppadoms.
What's the difference between them?
Chapatis are just a simple round bread. It's flat. It's baked in an oven. If you want something that is similar but not quite as simple, naan bread is slightly spicy.
What about the poppadoms?
They're very thin and crispy, fried in hot oil. I suppose they're more like crisps than bread.
Thanks for that. What type of curry have you got?
We've got dozens of types of curries, and not all of them are actually Indian. If you don't like spicy curry, chicken korma is a good one. It's a mild curry with chicken and coconut. The sauce is delicious. Our Rogan Josh is quite spicy. It's a lamb curry. Do you like lamb?
I love lamb.
For our next curry, we've taken the recipe from Thailand. Our Thai seafood curry is really popular. It's quite unusual, and it's got prawns, fish, and potatoes in it. I know potatoes aren't seafood, but they taste wonderful with the fish and prawns.
Some of my friends are vegetarian. Do you have any vegetarian dishes?
You might like to try our tofu and vegetable curry. That's tofu and vegetables served in a spicy sauce. You could have some bhajis with that.
What's a bhaji?
Oh, that's vegetables coated in flour and fried in oil. Our bhajis are pretty spicy, actually very spicy. We also do soft drinks.
Do you deliver, or do I have to come to collect?
Yes, we deliver. If you live within a radius of 3 miles, delivery is free for orders over £10. You can come and eat at the restaurant if you like.
Thanks very much. I'll speak to my friends and I'll call you back in a few minutes.
Thanks for calling. Goodbye.
Exercise 5.10.
The Swan Hotel is a pretty small hotel. The good thing about it is that it's not far from the airport, which is handy when you're travelling abroad. Of course, that means it's not in a very nice area, so it's not ideal for tourists who want to go out at night or go shopping, although you can easily get a bus into town if you want. All 35 rooms are double rooms, and all of them have ensuite bathrooms. They have nice big bathrooms with a bath and a shower. Each room also has a normal TV, a trouser press, and a safety deposit box for keeping your valuables in. I suppose it's a typical business traveller's hotel, but it's also okay if you're just staying overnight to take an early flight. Although there's no web access there, their website is really good. It's very informative and you can book rooms online. They take all major credit cards. The Sunrise Hotel is a lot closer to the centre of town, so it's probably a bit more expensive than the Swan. It's within walking distance of Theatreland and the big shopping centres. If you don't want to go out, you can stay in and watch satellite TV. There's a honeymoon suite if you're feeling romantic. They serve a really huge English breakfast too. All the bathrooms are en suite, if a little on the small side. Every room has a broadband internet connection, although you have to pay a small charge for that. Oh, if you really want some luxury, book the honeymoon suite. It has a jacuzzi. Also, all the rooms have free movie channels on the TV, which is good if you're feeling a bit tired. It's a bit strange, though. You can only pay in cash or by cheque. It's a long way to the airport, though. The Backpacker Hotel is a budget hotel pretty near the centre of London. They say they're only 2 minutes from the underground station, but you have to walk quite quickly. I reckon it's about 10 minutes, but that's still good. You can take the underground when your flight lands, although it takes more than an hour to get there. It's a long way. They've got 60 rooms, which are quite basic, but warm. They have shared bathrooms, so if you want ensuite facilities, you'll have to go elsewhere. They don't have an internet connection in your room, but they have a little room which they call their business centre. It has a fax machine and an internet connection if you want to plug in your laptop. That's pretty good for a cheap hotel. They take cash only.